Like, slip and fall. Good morning, everyone. Bright and early this morning. I am not a morning person, as some of you may know from being assistant governor. In fact, your club, I actually came one time in, I think, yoga or workout gear because I just couldn't pull myself together. But tried to do a little bit better job this morning and not have a baseball hat on. But it's wonderful to be here and see your club, and yes, be nervous about being videotaped at this moment. So I'm doing things a little bit differently than that has been done in the past, in that I'm going to tell you some things that are new on the district level, but then I would really like to open it up and have a conversation. You guys have been a little quiet this morning, so I'm hoping that you will warm up a little bit and ask me some questions if you have any questions about what's happening on the district level. If I might have an idea or suggestion, if you are interested in something after traveling around, it's really wonderful to listen to the clubs and to see what they're doing for fundraising, what they're doing for membership. So I'm here as a resource for you. Ultimately, that is my purpose, is to help the clubs do better, leave the club better than it was at the end of the year than when you started. So that's my role. So a few things that we're doing differently this year. The first thing, which is extremely important, is how we're running the district. It is no longer all about the district governor, which, you know, that's kind of hard for me because I was really looking forward to it being all about me, but it's not. We have an executive board. Even how our wording has changed. Before it was called a governor's advisory board. Now it's the executive board, because everyone comes to the table, and what everyone has to say matters. At the table is myself, Tony Marmo, and Mike Pulasic, the district governor's string. We're working together with the plan for this year, looking to add on it for next year. So it's not a one and done. When we're making changes, we're looking at consistency so that we can build upon them year after year. We also have past district governors that sit on the committee as well. If you open your pamphlet, the executive board is listed at the top left-hand corner for two reasons. One, there's no, magician behind the curtain here. There's no secret society. It is all open. We're very transparent. We want everyone to know who's there, and I can tell you why they're there as well. We don't all get along. That is a misconception. We have different opinions, and that's a good thing, because I have found in my life that sometimes I learn more when I don't agree with someone, as long as I'm willing to listen to what they have to say. So it's nice to have various opinions going there. But the other thing that's key is, even if we don't agree on everything, we have one common goal, and that is Rotary, and to leave it better. So at the end of the meeting, even if we have a disagreement, we leave as friends. And we're very, very proud of that. So that's your executive board. If you go onto the district website, which has been revamped, Leo Cadies is the communications director. He's done a great job of updating our website. If you go on the website, there's an executive board tab. You can click on that. You can see our agenda for the month. If you have something you'd like to add, if you have a question about something, please reach out to any of us. Again, we're here to serve you and to help your club, and we want to be transparent about what we're talking about. Underneath the executive board, we have our program chairs. If you have any questions about membership, service, obviously you don't have any questions about youth, because you have one of the best people in the district at your table when it comes to youth. You can always ask Chris about that. But at the same time, if you're interested in serving on the district level, in communication, in membership, on the wellness committee, reach out. Again, there's no secret club here. We are all Rotarians, and we welcome you on any of these committees. On the other side, we have our goals listed. Foundation, we'd like for your average to be up to 120 instead of 100. Membership, we'd like for you to be net 2 at the end of the year. We'd like for you to participate in our youth programs. Obviously you do. we'd like for you to make sure your officers are all in Club Runner. All of those things are listed, and I encourage you to read through, because I would prefer not to stand up here and list through them. Everyone's capable of looking at them. And the other thing is, it's not only your president's responsibility for you to reach those goals. It is everyone that's sitting at this table's responsibility. Sometimes we look to our president and say, okay, how are we going to do this? Well, you know, you also have a role in that, so please be helpful and mindful. And I know that you are. You guys are a great club. I mean, in some ways, when I come and visit a club like this, it's like, do I really need to stand up here? Do I really need to say anything? Because, you know, you have established projects. You are involved in your community and on the district level. So, you know, in some ways it's kind of pointless for me to be up here. But anyway, two other things I want to point out before I would like to have some questions from you guys. One thing, we have district service days this year. That is something that's new. The reason why we have district service days is because when we were traveling around talking to clubs, clubs said sometimes we don't do enough service, and we're Rotarians. Our motto is service above self. So we thought, as a district, if we can designate 3 days for service days, it might help clubs get involved. If they have a project currently in that venue, they could move it to that date. It also gives clubs an opportunity to work with other clubs in your region or expand and try something new. So our district service days are actually this Saturday is our first one, centered around wellness and recovery. The second one is November 2nd, which we're asking for clubs to do something with a coat clothing drive. And then the third one is February 29th. We get an extra day of service this year with a leap day. So that we'd like for you to do something in and around a food pantry. So we're excited about those. The last thing I'm going to talk about that we've changed this year is our district conference. It is a fall conference. It will be in the district at Resort Worlds Casino. We are starting it out on Saturday night with a shelter box sleep out. I know most of you are familiar with shelter box. We are excited about this concept. We are the only district in the world to have a shelter box sleep out at district conference. Maybe that's because we're crazy, I don't know, but we're going to try it. And we're excited to announce that the president of USA Shelter Box will be there with us that evening. She will be with her team going over exercises that they do, what happens when they have a deployment, and we'll have some team building exercises as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and we hope that everyone comes. That's at the Boys and Girls Club of Walk Hill East. And then Sunday morning we will be going to Resort Worlds Casino, where we have some wonderful speakers lined up. We actually have a service project in the middle of the day so we can get our hands dirty. And then we have our first annual Rotary's Got Talent competition that evening. The next day we're going to have our foundation breakfast, so we're combining that so we don't take another day away from you in the fall. And then we have Major General Peter Boylan coming to speak to you on Veterans Day. A very distinguished gentleman who I'm honored will be there to speak to us and the veterans on which is on Veterans Day. So we're excited about that. Because we're moving district conference to the fall, we will be having an end of the year celebration. It will actually be an end of the year celebration, unlike in the past where we've had an installation of our governor at conference, which has been actually in the spring. So at the end of the year, we'll have a installation for our district governor, but we are also going to install presidents at that meeting, because the club presidents are also part of the district team, and it's important that they be recognized as well. So we're trying a few new things, and we're excited about that. And now I'd like to open it up to any questions that you might have, any concerns that you might have. Yeah.
Will you please tell me, I might be the only one who doesn't know this, what is the Wellness Committee?
So the Wellness Committee, basically, it's last year and in the past we've had a big push for opioid and drug awareness. So we have shifted the name because words matter, and instead of saying addiction, it's recovery wellness. Yeah. So Lori Quinn is in charge of that, and I don't know if you're familiar with Lori Quinn. She has a personal story when it comes to recovery wellness and addiction. And so she is a valuable resource for us. And she has, if you go on the website or on Facebook, there are things that you can do that day in the district. One of the things that's very close to you, a wonderful woman, her name is Karamina, founded something called Hope on a Mission in Poughkeepsie to help primarily women, addicts, and homeless women. And she sets up at the corner of Clinton and is it Main Street in Poughkeepsie every Saturday. And she provides a free meal. She provides kits for them, like little backpacks that can have shampoo, you know, different toiletries. She has clothing for them as well. So you can, if you're not doing anything this Saturday, you can go and help her feed. She usually gets about 100, 125 people there
every Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. And if you have clothing that you'd like to donate, if you have toiletries, you can contact her and bring those to her. Actually, at District Assembly this year, we did a service project at Assembly, and that service project was to benefit her. We created backpacks for her to give away with different toiletries, even underwear, flip-flops, razors, yeah, personal hygiene products. So it's a wonderful mission that she has going that we've been very supportive. But there are other things happening throughout the district as well. Yes. Karamina, Hope on a Mission. You're welcome.
So Cindie, one of the biggest problems of any volunteer organization, whether it's Rotary, the fire department, the magistrates association, the bar association, is you look around the table and we're all have AARP cards in our wallets. It's tough for us to recruit and retain young people.
Right.
Has RI or the district come up with any magic wand or suggestion for us on how to do that?
Well, there are a few things.
The younger people don't seem to want to join things. They're all on the phones.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things, is they've said, you know, they hate to join a club because they feel that they're then kind of, you know, they lose their identity, or they lose their, you know. So having more service projects for them to be involved in, alternative membership models might work for them, where you don't require them to come to as many of these meetings. You're at a benefit in that you're a breakfast meeting. Lunch clubs have a more difficult time attracting them because it's harder for them to get away for lunch. Clubs that, do you have an evening meeting at all?
Once every quarter.
Okay.
Fifth Tuesday.
Okay, because that seems to be very attractive to them, the evening meeting. And having it be more of a social than a, you know, let's talk about business. But unfortunately, there is no magic wand. But it is just getting out, and they found that service is the main thing that's attracting them. And the more service projects that you're able to do, and when they can see you more involved in the community, that's what's attracting them. Because they are very mindful about giving back. I mean, I look at my children, and my daughter's 26, and she's constantly looking for things that she can do. But it's difficult, right, for her to say, but I'm going to come every Tuesday at 7:30 to a breakfast meeting. So it's really, when you find someone and are able to hook them in, being flexible with them in your membership model.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. And by the way, in case people don't know, Radio Rotary will be in the Zone newsletter next month. So I'm very excited about that and being able to highlight one of the wonderful things that comes out of your club.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't know if this falls under a confidentiality kind of thing, but is there any way that kids who then become adults, that they keep track of exchange students and stuff throughout the world and where they are, and invite them to meetings? Because I had an instance where, unknowingly to me, a friend of mine was an exchange student, and when I told her, you know, about the Rotary, she was like so excited. Oh my God! And she just might be joining the Rotary. She lives over in Ulster County, but she just might be joining the Rotary there because she realized, oh, like I didn't, you know, like they're kids then, and now when they become kind of fully functioning adults, they might not
Right.
know exactly what they're doing. So is there any way to like keep in touch with those people when they get older?
That falls more on the club and even a district to be able to create that database.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that we have suggested for clubs, keeping in contact with people, your RILA students, your scholarship recipients, because if they've received something from Rotary, your Interact club, who's your Interact, at least your president, your vice president of your club, keeping in contact with them, because maybe they will come back and join your club, or where they go to live, they would then become a member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and that's why it's so important for us to be in their lives growing up and touching them at different points, whether it's in the 3rd grade for dictionary, 8th grade doing a book project, in the high school for Interact, and then having a Rotaract club wherever they're going to college. If we can keep them engaged, then when they have more time and a little more money to give back, then hopefully they would become Rotarians.
Yes, and that's possibly, one small channel of attracting
Right.
younger.
Right. In fact, in regards to membership, that's one of the things that people have been discussing in the district as well. From my personal club, our last 2 new members are parents of RILA students. And we were forgetting to reach out to the parents of students that we're touching. So our Interact kids, now we're making a conscious effort to engage with those parents, because the Interact kids see what we're doing and we try and include them within our service project. So here is a group of people that already know what we do, so we should be able to reach out to them. Our RILA, they saw the impact that that camp did on their children, so they were interested. And when we brought them in, we brought them to a fun event, not to a meeting, so that they could see that we have fun as well as having a meeting. So, and that's one of the other things that I encourage. If you're inviting someone, bring them to a service project or bring them to an evening meeting, so they can get to know you as well, because a lot of this year's theme is Rotary Connects the World, and I'm so happy that that's the theme, because that's really, to me, what Rotary is about, these connections that we all have and that we make. And so through fellowship and the connections, that might draw people in and have them be a little more grounded in what you're doing.
You did a great job.
I did a great job.
We've done
Any
this
other
before.
questions?
Pardon?
Any other questions?
No, the other thing I would encourage you to do on the back, we have some save the dates. So be sure and look at those. We have a membership seminar coming up, other service days. So
Great,
thank you for all that you do.
We'll look forward to the board meeting after. Any volunteers for the Sergeant of Arms to do our happy dollars?